Have you ever wondered why some ancient cities are mentioned so often in the Bible? What do places like Tyre and Sidon, wealthy and powerful cities of their time, have to teach us today? In this message, we'll explore the fascinating stories of Tyre and Sidon, cities once known for their pride and idolatry, yet also touched by Jesus himself. What did he say about them, and why are his words still relevant for us? Stay tuned as we uncover the lessons of judgment, repentance, and grace found in these ancient cities. Today, let's take a deeper look at the biblical cities of Tyre and Sidon and what Jesus said about them. These two cities, located on the Mediterranean coast in what is now modern-day Lebanon, were known in the ancient world for their wealth, commerce, and influence. Historical and biblical background. Tyre and Sidon were key cities of Phoenicia, an ancient civilization known for its seafaring trade. The Bible makes frequent mention of them, particularly in the Old Testament. Tyre, for example, was famous for its trade and its production of a rare purple dye, highly valued by royalty. The people of these cities, however, were often criticized for their idolatry and moral corruption. The prophet Ezekiel delivered strong words of judgment against Tyre in Ezekiel 26-28. He warned that because of their pride, wealth, and arrogance, destruction would come upon the city. Ezekiel particularly pointed out how the king of Tyre viewed himself almost as a god because of his riches and wisdom. God's judgment against Tyre was meant to show that no matter how powerful or wealthy a nation becomes, it is still subject to his authority. Sidon also faced similar judgment from God. In Joel 3:4, God addresses the people of Sidon for their hostility toward Israel and their involvement in idolatry and pagan worship. Both cities stand as examples of God's response to human pride and sin. Jesus' words about Tyre and Sidon in sin. But what did Jesus say about Tyre and Sidon? This is where things take an interesting turn. In the New Testament, Jesus refers to Tyre and Sidon in the context of judgment and repentance. In Matthew 11:20-22, and Luke 10:13-14, Jesus rebukes the towns where he performed many miracles, but the people did not. He specifically mentions Chorazin and Bethsaida. Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I tell you, it will be more bearable for Tyre and Sidon on the day of judgment than for you. Matthew 11:21-22. What's remarkable here is that Jesus is comparing these Jewish towns, which had firsthand access to his miracles and teachings, to pagan cities like Tyre and Sidon. He is essentially saying that Tyre and Sidon, despite their notorious sinfulness, would have repented if they had witnessed the miracles he performed. This is a strong rebuke to the people of Chorazin and Bethsaida for their hard-heartedness. Jesus' words reveal a profound truth about accountability and repentance. The more we are exposed to God's truth, the more responsible we are for how we respond to it. Tyre and Sidon, despite their ancient reputation for sin, would have responded in repentance, Jesus says. Meanwhile, those who had the direct witness of Christ but remained indifferent were in an even worse spiritual state. Jesus in the region of Tyre and Sidon. Despite their history of sin, Tyre and Sidon are also places where Jesus demonstrated his mercy and grace. In Matthew 15:21-28 and Mark 7:24-30, we read the account of the Canaanite woman, or Syrophoenician woman, from that region who approached Jesus begging for the healing of her demon-possessed daughter. Though Jesus initially seems to resist her request, he is testing her faith. The woman's persistence and humility stand out, and Jesus praises her for her great faith, healing her daughter immediately. This shows us something remarkable. Even in a region known for its paganism and distance from God, true faith could be found. Jesus didn't only minister to the Jews, but extended his grace to those considered outsiders, like the woman from Tyre and Sidon. Lessons from Tyre and Sidon. There are important lessons we can take from the story of Tyre and Sidon in the Bible. 1. God's judgment on pride and idolatry. Both Tyre and Sidon were judged because they placed their trust in wealth, power, and false gods. This reminds us of the danger of pride and self-sufficiency and how we must remain humble and dependent on God. 2. Repentance and accountability. Jesus' words about Tyre and Sidon in comparison to Chorazin and Bethsaida show us that we are accountable for the spiritual knowledge and experiences we receive. If we see God's work and ignore it, we are in grave danger. 3. Grace extends to all. Despite their history, Jesus ministered in the region of Tyre and Sidon, and he praised the faith of a Gentile woman from there. This teaches us that no matter our background, nationality, or past sins, God's grace is available to anyone who comes to him in faith. In conclusion, Tyre and Sidon serve as powerful reminders of both God's righteous judgment and his amazing grace. Though they were cities marked by pride and sin, Jesus highlighted how they would have repented had they seen his works. And even in these distant pagan cities, Jesus found faith, reminding us that no one is beyond the reach of his mercy. I hope this detailed message captures both the historical significance of Tyre and Sidon, as well as the profound words of Jesus regarding these cities.